So Tracy, what do you pay your inside sales guys?
Okay, so I started off paying $26,500 a year and 5% off the top.
Mm-hmm.
We started having a hard time getting anyone to even look at us at $26,500 a year. So we bumped it up to $36,000, and that's only for your first year. So our ISAs now we hire in at $36,000 a year, 2.5% off the top. And then after your first year, you go down to the salary of $26,500. And then you get bumped up to 5% off the top.
So essentially you're paying them $3,000 a month.
Yeah.
Which is in the compensation model. Mm-hmm. So I think, Wally, that's what started this conversation for you.
Mm-hmm.
Is like, all right, I'm paying out $3,000 a month per ISA. Can I get the same results or similar? I mean, think about it. Can you get 25% less conversion, but pay 50% less money? Right?
Right.
It's a really good question.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Makes sense if it works, but I'm just afraid to outsource. Look, we have no virtual VAs at all right now. They're sitting in an office literally 30 feet from where I'm sitting. We can walk in and coach them right now. Yeah. So I like having the ISAs here and going in and role playing with them, peeking in. We got cameras in there. I can listen to what they're saying, even if it's 7 o'clock at night. I'm not a big advocate of this, but we're looking for ways to trim. Just to give you an idea, we have really raised our fees a lot, Todd. We're now at a 7% and $4.95 up front on listings. Okay, we're working to get all of our buyer agents at 3.5%. It's a little bit competitive here. That can be a little bit of a challenge getting people, even with lots of irresistible offers for buyers, off-market properties, buyback guarantee, everything that we've got to offer them. And the buyers are down a little bit in the marketplace. They're talking to multiple agents. They're visiting other IDX sites. We're using AI. I think our AI is less effective now because I think that, I'd guess 60, 70% of agents with a CRM are now using AI. So we get the word stop a lot. And I'm not surprised. AI was the brand new thing 2 or 3 years ago, but now I think a lot of people use AI. So I've got the model. We've grown our fees. We've pushed those upward. I'm not a big advocate of VAs. And this was more a question to Tracy of, do you really consider VAs? Or in your situation, Todd, you're saying rebuild your model and make sure you've got enough fees to where you don't have to go higher.
Well, I think, I don't know if you need to rebuild it. We just have a standard that you compare it against is really what it is. And that's what you guys are paying for, is like you're essentially getting a model that you compare where you are against it, right? And now you know whether you're on track or off track to get kind of what you want. Remember, for most people, a P&L is the result of. In other words, they had income, they had expenses, they plugged it into a P&L, and it is what it is. There is no model. It's just what they have. They just look at it and see whatever this is how much we made, this is how much we spent, this is how much money we made after it was all said and done. There's no model. It just is the result of. Mm-hmm. So what we do is we encourage everybody when they on board here is like, you got to get your CPA has got to take the model that they're using for you, and they need to take our model, and that becomes what they're using, because they won't do it. They don't know. They're just using their standard little P&L model that they got from QuickBooks and whatever they learned when they went to school. So, but it's the same for every business. Home Depot, Coca-Cola, Apple, they all have a model that they're trying to follow, which predicts and guarantees they'll be profitable or not. Thank you. So, so once you guys have something to compare it to, it does become easier for sure. But I think the consensus probably is, if Craig was here, I know what he would say. He'd say, look, man, if you can make VAs work from an inside sales agent place, go for it. If you can make that work, go for it. Let me give an example of how you might be able to make it work. If the leads were come get me's and you were setting an appointment, or they didn't have to talk to anyone, they just texted all the time. Those two things right there, it might work more beneficial. But when it comes to creativity and on the fly, having to deal with objections and heavy competition, that's when I think it becomes more difficult. It's hard enough right, Tracy? It's hard enough to like work with the people that are on your team in the area, following your standards and processes. That is difficult. So having somebody a half a world away that you don't see and don't talk to on a consistent basis, do the thing that is the most important, set appointments, that's when I think it becomes rather difficult.
Yeah, I
So
agree.
my preference is let's try to make it work with stateside paid people in your office.